Hey ghosties, welcome back to my channel for some more spooky stories. Today I have two very spooky true ones. Here's all of my social media. My setup might be a little bit off today and different. I broke my tripod and I'm so heartbroken over it. I'm gonna try to get a new one soon. And also, watch the vlog that I posted on Tuesday if you haven't yet. It is the craziest thing I have posted ever. Ollie, he spent like 40 hours editing the thing. Definitely give it a watch. You guys subscribe if you would like to join my cemetery of ghosts. Because if you join my cemetery of ghosts, then you get to be entered into a chance to win when I hit 1,000 subs, and I'm gonna make a huge big boo basket to give away to one special subscriber, and then 4 little mini boo baskets to 4 little extra ghosties. Also, I want to give a big huge shout out to Vanessa because the vlog that I posted on Tuesday has her in it, and on her channel she posted her own vlog of how the night went for her. And so she actually helped me pick out the stories that I'm reading today. So go subscribe to her channel and watch her vlog too. Both of our vlogs will be in my description down below. My link tree is always in my description too. If you guys have your own spooky stories that you want me to read, my subreddit is r/ConjureJasper. Now let's get into reading these stories. This first story is titled Creepiest Experience I Have Had at Work, and it is from user Khepri Sun. I'd like to preface this by telling you guys that this is not a fictional story. This happened to me on April 19th. Trigger warning, man being inappropriate with minors. I work at an arcade or fun center with a ball pit and a bouncy house. Most of our customers are nice people, but there will always be an aberrant few among the crowds, one of which I encountered on my most recent shift. This isn't the first time I had seen this man, though. We had first met a few weeks prior. He brought his 11-year-old son and his 2 friends to the arcade. I was stationed at the bouncy house that day. I thought it was odd that I hadn't seen him before because he had a membership, and I had been working here for almost a year. The 3 young boys ran into the bouncy house, and the man sat on the bench right next to where I was standing, even though all the others were empty. He didn't look shady or anything. He wore black sweatpants and a gray t-shirt that matched his sneakers. He had short curly hair and light brown skin that was dusted with freckles. His deep brown eyes seemed to sparkle as he looked up at me and smiled. I grinned and asked how he was doing, and we fell into pleasant conversation easily. He asked me what my name was, and he introduced himself as Donald. He was kind and charming, and at first, I appreciated his company. As we talked about our days, he began to slip details of his life into his sentences. How he loved his sons and thought it was amazing that I was so good with kids. I said that the boys were well-mannered and were a pleasure to have, which is a statement I stand by. He pauses for a few seconds and sighs as he says, "Yeah, but it's hard out here being a single dad." I sympathized with him because my mother was single for a long time after the divorce from my father. She works herself to the bone every day, and I'll never forget everything she does to give us a great life. And this is why I didn't find the comment too strange. However, soon after, he became more direct, continued to emphasize that he was single. He asked if I was in college. I was a bit more firm as I disclosed the fact that I am in high school. He smiled and asked me, "How old do you think I am?" I kept it cool, thinking maybe he was just playing around. I looked at his face for a moment and guessed he was 28, based on the subtle creases in his face and a few strands of gray hair. He wore a boyish grin and laughed as he said, "Nah, I'm 32. I was surprised, and I told him I thought he was younger than that. I was trying to be nice. Another chuckle escaped his lips as he hummed and nodded. He turned away to look at the kids again. After a few seconds, he turned back to face me and asked the question I had been dreading. "How old are you?" His eyes were laced with something I couldn't define, an insidious twinkle that made my heart drop. I had a feeling this was coming, though I didn't want to believe it. I had hoped he was trying to be friendly, but a deep pit had formed in my stomach. Something wasn't right. The flirting was obvious now, and I wasn't sure what to do. "I'm 17, I said curtly. He raised his eyebrows and smirked again. With an eager expression, he asked me when my birthday was. I tried my best to be obtuse, but I tend to worry about coming across as rude. "My birthday is in May," I stammered. I cursed at myself for revealing the fact that I would soon be of legal age, and I was terrified that he saw that as a sign to continue flirting. As he was about to ask me something else, another parent came to ask me a question. Astonishing relief swept through my body as I eagerly stepped away from Donald to speak with the other parent. More people began to trickle into the area, and I made sure to talk to as many other parents as I could to look busy. Around 15 minutes later, most of the parents and kids trickled out again, leaving me isolated with Donald. He scooted from the middle of the bench to be closer to me. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw his eyes trail up and down my body, his gaze falling onto my hand. He seemed to notice the clawed ring I was wearing. "You married? You have a boyfriend?" His voice was laced with urgency. I thought I was going to burst into tears right there and then. I was so taken back by his question that I couldn't even come up with a lie. "No, I'm just working on myself. I'm enjoying being single." I did my best to sound confident, but my voice still shook with apprehension. "Good for you. How old are you again?" He cocked his head like a curious dog. "I'm 17, I said even more firmly. I wanted this man to leave me alone, but I didn't want him to lie about me being rude to him. Kids still remained in the bouncy house, so I couldn't leave this area. That's cool. I really respect that, If you ever need to chill and hang out, you can give me your number, and you can come to my place." He smiled wildly, but his eyes cut through me like a blade. I nodded vaguely as I stormed away to look at something in the bouncy house. Tears threatened to spill down my face as I tried to steady my breathing. The last threads of my composure were beginning to snap. I took in deep breaths, and as if heaven sent, the kids with Donald ran out of the bouncy house and asked him to go to the ball pit. The boys grabbed their shoes hurriedly and scurried out of the gate as if they were late to an appointment. I faced the exit to watch them leave. As Donald trailed slowly behind the boys, he turned back to face me and said, "See you soon." I turned my back to him as a silent tear dripped down my face. He left shortly afterward. Now that you have context, I'll tell you what happened on the 19th. Oh my god, this is terrifying already. I was working at the ball pit that day, and everything had been going smoothly so far. Even though I was sick with a fever of 102, I decided to wear a mask to keep others safe. And because the ball pit is equivalent to a petri dish, I had been kicking stray foam balls away from the gate when the door sensor chimed. I walked over to look to the front, and I saw Donald's child and his two friends run inside. Donald walked in a second later, and I thought I was going to faint. Unfortunately for me, him and the children came over to the ball pit first. I let them in wordlessly, not even looking at Donald's face. The kids ran inside, and interestingly enough, he didn't say anything to me. He didn't even look at me. I don't think he recognized me with the mask. At least, not at first. As the kids played, he sat at one of the benches playing with his phone. The ball pit was busy at the time, so I felt safer knowing that this was surrounded by other parents. The universe seemed to be vouching for me that day, because I got my break about 5 minutes later. I took my break outside. My mother and father called me, insisting that I tell the manager that he is back. I assured them I would and spent the rest of the time finishing an episode of a podcast. After I clocked back in, Donald left the ball pit and I was alone. I decided to spend some time cleaning up the place since I had nothing better to do. I made sure to keep looking behind me though, just in case. I spent some time picking balls up on my hands and knees and I got up to sweep some more out of the way of the gate. As I walked toward one side of the gate, I saw Donald walking around with his phone up, very obviously filming. He was alone, and he walked quickly, with purpose. He filmed the front of the ball pit, and his camera started sweeping toward my direction. I turned away quickly, not wanting to be on film. I leaned quietly against a section of the fence, waiting for him to leave. I stayed there for about 30 seconds. When I turned back around, he was still there, less than 2 feet behind me now. He jerked his phone away from my direction and stormed off towards the other section. I hoped he was showing the ball pit to someone over FaceTime, trying to block thoughts of his possible malintent out of my mind. But a question still remained. How long was he filming? My manager was nowhere in sight, so I decided it was best to stay there and monitor everyone that came in or out of the area. Quickly, a family of kind regulars shuffled into the ball pit, a mother of 4 children between ages 2 and 8. We didn't have that many customers at the time, so I could help them collect the balls and play with them, which eased my anxiety. We played for around 15 minutes, and I got up again to watch the game. That's when Donald came back. Once again, without his children. His phone was pointed at the ball pit again. He was leaning on the gate right behind me, and his phone was pointed directly at the group of young children. I finally had enough, and I walked up to him, speaking in a sharp, concerned tone. "Sir, please do not film children you don't know." He looked at me blankly and replied, "I'm not. I'm showing my wife. See?" He flashed his phone at me, which showed a woman on the screen. He pulled his phone back towards his chest quickly, but not quick enough to deprive me of the details. The woman's face was completely still, and the camera in the bottom right corner did not show my reflection, even though his phone was pointed right at me. He wasn't on FaceTime with anyone. It was a fucking screenshot. He held his phone tight and practically jogged away, gathering his children and leaving shortly after. My mind raced through a million questions. I thought he was a single father. Did he lie about being single? I didn't even think about that. Oh my God. Or did he lie about being married just now? Was he taking pictures or videos of me before? What about the children? These questions stewed in my head as our store neared closing hours. As soon as I saw my manager, I spilled my guts about what happened, throwing in every detail I had about the weird stuff Donald was doing. My manager was horrified and wanted to ban him right there and then. He texted the head manager immediately, but I told him to wait on banning him. The manager was puzzled and asked why I would want to do that. I was honest with him. I told him I was worried. If Donald gets banned from our establishment the day after I called him out, he's probably going to realize it had something to do with me. I'm scared that he'll get angry. I don't want him to come after me. He doesn't know that much about me, but plenty of people are savvy enough to find out. He nodded silently and said that everything was going to be taken care of. I thanked him and left for the evening. I don't know what's going to happen or how this will be resolved, but I don't think this man should be trusted around children. I never want to see him again, but if I do, I pray to God that we are not alone. I asked this person if I could read their story when it was April still, so like a week after they posted that. So I wonder if there's been any updates. I would love to know if there were any updates because that is so horrifying and awful. On to the next story. So this second and last story is titled, "I journaled my paranormal experience as it happened. For the first time in a long time, I was scared." And this one comes from user Quoofle. Thank you so much to both users that let me read your stories today. All this happened less than 2 hours ago. Paranormal encounters literally never scare me. I grew up with it, so I'm used to it. So it's very out of character for me to be afraid. Lights have been flickering all day. Lots of random noises and banging. More overall activity than usual. Seeing more things than usual today. Everything further happened between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. I blew out my evil eye protection candle. I lit it to keep all the activity at bay. And only minutes later, there was the sound of something falling upstairs. I went halfway up the stairs to check it out, but then turned right back around when I felt the powerful, strange, Not negative, just forceful energy coming from the guest room. I woke my fiance up and he came with me to check it out. I brought my clear quartz necklace. I saw it standing in the doorway, just a black figure, and walked directly towards it with a very prevalent fuck off energy. It disappeared when I was only a few feet away. My fiance went to bed. He was sleeping on the couch to be closer to me. I let the dog out. I went to get the dog from the backyard and I felt this awful, intense, overwhelming energy closing in on me from the darkness. It got closer and closer and it felt very threatening and very scary. It was coming from the house on the corner. I think it's the spirit that formerly haunted my brother a while back. I called my fiance to get him to come back downstairs to get the dog from the backyard for me. I was too scared to do it myself. Out of character for me. Spirits rarely frighten me. He came down and made it go away. Once it was gone, I started to cry. Also out of character. I don't remember the last time I cried. He said it was trying to frighten me to get in the house, and it thought it would succeed because I was alone and I'm the weak link due to me being the most sensitive and in tune. He put a very, very strong protective barrier around the house, stronger than usual, probably because I cried because of the spirit. 20 minutes passed. My fiance went upstairs with the dog. I stayed downstairs. He called me to tell me about something he saw on a video. During the call, I saw the negative spirit through the window next to the front door. It was a very clear face, more solid than I usually see, in the expression of a furious snarl staring right at me. It frightened me. My fiance made it go away and stripped it of its power. He chased it away from our property altogether. It's currently very weak, cowering in the house on the corner. A few minutes later, I got nervous and asked him to read the energy of the area, and he told me that the spirit was making it known to him that it's upset. He made it stop. It's finally over. We pieced a lot of things together when it's finally over. The spirits of our house have been trying to warn us all day about the other spirit's plan. I figured out what the spirit in the guest room was trying to do. It was one of our male house spirits very forcefully trying to tell me about the malevolent plan of the negative spirit. We didn't think anything of the activity all day, so he took dramatic measures that would usually be very off limits. That must have been Matthew, one of my most active and protective spirits, a spirit guide of mine. This makes sense because that happened right before everything else went down. Everything is okay now. It's all over. That's really interesting that your spirits are like warning you. I hope you guys enjoyed both of those stories today. Next week, I will have some stories that come from some users that chose to stay anonymous. So that will be a very fun and spooky video. I think I have 4 stories to read in that one, so that one will be much longer. Like, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to win a boo basket. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you ghosties.